Welcome back, friends. We are into 13th module now. We'll be discussing about A star algorithm in this particular module. A star is a very popular algorithm, is one of the most used algorithms of AI. If you remember the previous module, we discussed about two components of the search process. One is already calculated. Remember that when we were talking about branch and bound, we have seen that whenever we are at a typical point, we calculate the amount of distance that we need to come to this point, and then our prediction to reach to the goal node from that point. So, the same discussion is extended in A star algorithm. The A star algorithm is based on this simple principle of having two different components, one which is already incurred, the other one is expected to incur. So, it calculates the cost as the collection of the summation of two different components. If you remember, in best first search, we have seen that what we do is we pick up the best node. Best node means the node which has best heuristic value. The A star algorithm improves the best first search by just adding that the component. The component describes how far we are from the root node. So, in other words, A star will not find the shortest path from the current node, but from the root node. Okay, and we have already traveled to this node, so we don't need to predict anything to calculate the cost of traversal to this node. This is already available. That is the first component. For the second component, we will have to actually predict, and we will have to use some heuristic like we have talked about before. As I said, A star is very popular algorithm. There are many pathfinding algorithms, pathfinding solutions where A star has found this usage. And many graph traversal algorithms are also using A star. Shortest route finding in maps and all that also is using. There are some prerequisites. If you want to apply A star to a problem, there are few prerequisites. First is every solution. There can be multiple solutions to a problem, absolutely no issue, but every solution is defined by just one node. Okay, we will soon see that if there is a solution which is actually defined by multiple nodes. Here, a very simple assumption, that is a single node which defines a solution. There may be more than one solutions, but a single node confines to a solution. Okay. The second requirement is called the admissibility property, the heuristic function that we use. If that heuristic function, we will soon understand what admissibility is, but if that heuristic function is admissible, the A star is guaranteed to give you an optimal solution. If the heuristic function is not admissible, A star cannot guarantee us that. So, if you want an optimal solution, for example, you just say that I want the best path, the shortest path from a source to destination, we have to make sure that the heuristic that you use is admissible. The first component is called G. The first component, remember, is the cost of traversal from the start node to the current node. That is called G. The second component, from the current node to the goal node estimation, is called H dash. Okay, and the summation of that G plus H dash is called F dash, and you always pick up a node with least value of F dash. Okay, that is the motto of A star algorithm. Now, the slide actually is a PPT animation which comes next, which talks about how this process happens for a given graph. And the graph is quite huge. It contains a lot of nodes A to Z and one more AA. So, it is a huge graph, and the starting node in this particular graph is W, and where we would like to reach to a node called B. Okay, so that is our job. So, in the beginning we have no idea how far each node is from the other node. At that point of time, we are in the initial state. When we begin with W. Okay. When we begin with any node, we will need to have two values, G and H dash. The G value is from the root node. Now, root node is W itself. So, G value is 0. And now, we apply heuristic, and the heuristic says that the B is expected to be 15 nodes away or moves away. So, when you have that G value is 0, S dash value is 15, the F dash value G plus H dash is 15. So, that is the beginning. Okay. At this point of time, W is said to be unexplored, and the unexplored node is one where the G and S dash value is found. Okay. The next step is to generate children for W. Once you generate children for W, the first child is S and the second child is V. So, both childs are now generated. Once the children are generated, the node is said to be explored. Okay, so we have two lists. One list contains all explored nodes, the other list contains unexplored nodes. At this point of time, W is the only node which is part of explored node, and B and S are part of unexplored nodes. Now, they are unexplored. Okay, so we need to calculate their G and H dash value. G is incremented by 1. Now, for this particular example, we assume that every arc is of length 1. So, W to S and W to V is of length 1. So, G value is always incremented by 1 from the parent node. So, in both cases G value is 1. In case of S, the H dash value, the heuristic estimate of reaching to B is 13. In case of V, it is 14. Obviously, G plus H dash value is 14 for S and 15 for V. So, obviously, S is a better candidate. So, X will be explored next. Okay. So, S and V, both of them are part of unexplored list. Now, S moves from unexplored to explored, and its children are explored now, and its children are generated now. So, S has two children, N and H. Now, N and H are added to the unexplored node list. S moves to the explored list. Now, S says at the G value of H obviously is 1 plus S, that is 2. N also is 1 plus S, that also is 2. The heuristic value from N is 9, from H is 10. That means 10 is expected to be 10 moves away from B, and the N is 9 moves away from B. So, that means N is nearer, and we should explore N. So, that is done. So, now an interesting thing happens when we explore N. Okay. One of the children of N is V itself. Okay. Now, V is already explored. We are already generated, it is not explored, but it is already generated. It is part of unexplored list. Should we apply G and N, G and H dash? Will not, because G is already more than, see, please understand, H dash value of that node N is not going to change. Is the estimation of how B is far from V. So, that is not going to change, but G value in this case is one more. So, this path is obviously longer than the previous one. So, there is no point exploring this path. So, unexplored nodes are just forgotten, they are not processed. Okay. The other children of N is M. Okay. And this N to V path is shown as a dotted line, indicating that is pointing to an unexplored node which we does not want to progress further. Now, remember, this is an interesting thing, because we are always incrementing G by 1. If a node is regenerated, it is of almost no value to us. But in case if G value is not 1 but different, probably this newer path may be better. In that case, we might need to reconsider. So, this version of A star, the first version, we are keeping G as 1. So, this is not required. In the other case, and the other child is M, which says that obviously G value of M. Now, M is inserted into the unexplored list. The G value is 3 and S dash value, which again it looks, it applies the heuristic and decides it to be 8. Okay. So, once it says that it is 3 G value plus H S dash value, it is 11 moves away. So, that is picked up. Now, the children of M are picked up. One is H. H is again like the case which was V. So, H is connected by a dotted line, which indicates that M to H is already an explored generated child. So, you do not need to process this further, we can always ignore. So, we have two more children, okay, L and G, out of which G seems better, because it says that obviously the G value is 1 more than the N, that is going to be 4, but then it is the H dash value is 6 and 7 for G and H, G and L respectively. So, G seems little better. So, we explore G now. Again, one of the child of G is L, which is part of unexplored node. So, we are not going to touch it. The other one, other three are F, E and J, and looking at obviously their G value is 1 more than the parent node, that is going to be 5, but then J seems to be nearer. Okay. So, the next node that we will explore is J. Remember, the E, F are also added to unexplored list now. When you explore J, there are two children, one is I, other is C. I is explored, both of them I and C, both G values are 6, but the estimation again is little different. The estimation from I is 6, while the J is 5 and the C is 4. So, C is little better. So, we explore C next. C has 3 children. One is E, which is already explored, so we will already generated, so we will not touch it. K says it's 5 from me, 5 is too little further compared to D, which says only 2, and C says it is 4. C is already, E says it, E will not consider. Okay. In fact, there is one more child called Q, which we have not because it is on the other side. You may even calculate that, it calculates to be higher value. Okay. But then D, when the next child, obviously D is the most promising one, so we will explore D next, and it finds B in the next move. So, that is how we use A star to explore the nodes and find the shortest route from one node to the other. Now, the exploration process is shown in the next table. It talks about how the nodes are picked up. You can see that the first row, the current node is W, which has 2 children S and V, and out of that we will choose S. So, that comes as a next node, and now every time the children are added to the explored list if they are not unexplored list if they are not already done, if not already added. And whenever a node is explored, it is added to the explored list, because that node we are not going to look at. If a new node which is already explored, will not touch it, okay, or even unexplored will not touch it. So, you can see that how it proceeds and reaches to B. Okay. The first version of algorithm is depicted next. Okay. Initially, it begins like that. Initially, the root node is expanded, G value is set to 0, the S dash value is found using a heuristic value. Now, that depends on a problem. We are not discussing any problem right now. So, if you pick up a typical problem, you can get a typical heuristic, and you may use that heuristic for calculating that S dash value. Now, root node is moved to the explored node, and this G plus S dash is applied to all children, and you pick up the best child out of it. They are all part of an explored list, but the chosen child will move to explored, and the children of that will be added here, and if it is already explored, it is not generated yet again. Okay. Anytime you will find a node that you are exploring, the gold node, you got the solution and you will have to quit. Otherwise, find the best node and explore it. It is thus the same process. Find out S dash using heuristic, you already have the G value, add them, calculate the promise the node is giving you, and choose the best node. Okay, but then there is one catch, as I have already talked about. We have already used G as 1 in the previous example and said that G may not be 1 every time. So, what if G value is different than 1? There are 3 arcs going from a node, and that is something which is very common in real world. For example, there is a place called A, and there are 3 paths. One connects A to B, the other one connects A to C, the third one connects A to D. In that case, it is quite possible that A to B is far longer than A to C and A to D, and so on and so forth. So, not every path is the same, and if you accept that, the G value may remain the same, but the S dash values are likely to change. When the S dash values are likely to change, the calculation differs a bit, and how it is done, we will take another example using another PPT with another PowerPoint animation. Okay. So, that is now we are taking the actual value of H dash. Now, we again start with W, the same 0 and 15. Okay, that is one thing which I should tell you right now. See, this 15 is our estimate, and we will actually get the solution much earlier. Out of 7 or 8, iterations we get. In fact, I believe 8 iterations in the last case we got, we reached to the destination. Now, we estimated it to be 15 and we reached there in 8. This is called overestimation. We overestimate our that thing. Exactly the opposite case is like the W says it is 4 hopes away and it actually finds 8 hopes away. So, it is called underestimating. Now, which is better? In fact, best is to get the right estimate. Okay, if you get 8 here, it's the best thing, but that is never possible in most of the real world cases. So, that is out of question. One important thing about overestimating is that it does not guarantee us. If there is the heuristic function is overestimating, it does not guarantee us the optimal solution, but the underestimation, yes, we are guaranteed to get an optimal solution. Why, we will see little later. But point is, this is overestimation. This, for this example, I have used overestimation, but remember that however good this thing is, it does not guarantee us the optimal solution. If you want to get an optimal solution, there has to be consistent underestimation. Anyway, so let us start again with W. We have 0 and 15 like we had before. We have both children like before, but now you can see that the G value to V is 5. Okay, it is further very long route. And the S dash value is 10. Similarly, S, like previous case, 1 and 10. Obviously, S is a better child, so we move further. I won't discuss much about how they are explored and generated. It's exactly like the previous case. Okay, so we have H and N, and out of that, N is little better. Okay, it's 9 plus 2, that is 11. So that is short minimum. Okay, now interesting twist in the tale comes now. N has 2 children, M and V. In the earlier case, we have just ignored V because it's likely to have more value of G. Now, you can see that the value of G is 3 if you traverse through N. What does that mean? If you traverse from W to V directly is a longer route. But if you traverse that through S and N is a shorter route, which the length of which is only 3, and at this point of time you can see that it is the shortest path. Okay, so this is a difference between the earlier case and the newer case. Okay, the earlier case we have assumed all arcs with the same length. Here it is not so, and that's the reason why the alternate route to V is found to be a better. Seemingly longer route is actually shorter. Okay, so that is probably you have seen something similar in real world as well. So the point is, this is different. So after N, in the earlier case we have picked up N is the next best child, but in this case we will pick up V. See, you can see that there are 2 paths available from W to V. One, a direct path, and the other one which traverse through S and N. And the direct path is longer and the path through N is shorter. Okay, so we'll pick up that path, and now you can see that V is a better child. So now we'll explore V next. So when we explore V next, it has only one child called Z. Now we explore Z because there is only one option, we explore it. And we got 4 plus 7 total 11. It is not improving, it's the same, but we still accept it. We'll go ahead with it. The next, there are 2 children of Z, Y and A. Y obviously is more expensive than A, so we'll choose A. Then X. X has 2 children, O and U. So O seems cheaper because 7 plus 3, that is 10. So it sounds little cheaper compared to U, which is 13 in total. So we explore O next. Again, there is one more twist in the tale is coming next. So there is a path from O to K, which is 9 and 5. Okay, so that sounds better. So we'll pick up that. Okay, so and it has 2 children. One is I, other one is A. The path to I sounds better, but then you will find that it is not as good as the earlier path. Okay, the best path, the both child of K are much expensive than the previous child. Okay, so O to I link, which we have not explored before, O to I link, which was 8-5, which was not all that good when you compare that to an OK link, is found to be good, is found to be better. So what we do is from K we backtrack to O. Now this is something which is going to happen only here. This is not going to, this case was not possible in the previous case. You explore children. Now the G value, the value becomes so large that you will find that this path is no longer optimal, the better path. In fact, from O there were 2 paths, one is I, the K, the other one through K. and K, you start traversing through K, you realize that it is more expensive than OI path, you come back and start from OI. So, that is one thing which is happening here. When you explore I, you will find, obviously K is one of the children that is explored, J and D are the other two children, out of which obviously D is better. So, we explore it and then it comes to B, which is the destination node. Now, you can see that when we change that assumption, G value, we take G value as real, you can see that the path changes. Now, in real world this is also true, because G is what? The cost of reaching to a node. Now, that cost again depends on perception. For example, pick up a city map. Now, if you are traveling using a car, the traffic jam or the time to reach to destination is going to be different if you compare it with the two-wheeler. So, a congested but the route with lesser distance probably is preferred on a two-wheeler, by less congested but little longer route is preferred by a car, because your G value is different. In case number 1, G value is the distance, when the other case G value is the minus time that you require to reach to that destination. Okay. So, if you change that G estimate, the way you look at G, the path changes. If you pick up only every junction as just one distance from it, you will get a different route, but if you take the actual G value, the answer is very different. The next slide talks about how that is being processed. The only important part is highlighted bold faced in this particular table. You can see that the I children are P and D. Now, that is coming after. So, see, look at 2 rows up. O had 2 children, K and I, out of which we chose K, and when we chose K, after that we realized that is a longer path, we backtrack and started with I. Now, that is the only thing which is different in this particular case than the earlier case, and that is why it is highlighted. Okay. Now, the second version of A star, nothing different here, it just initiated the process by adding a root node, and then root node obviously has G value as 0 and S dash value as whatever it is. Then G value is again calculated. When you explore the nodes, the child, you calculate that case. In case of a CT map, probably you will calculate the amount of traffic or the distance or the time you take to reach to that, whatever. So, that is G value. You calculate the value, find out what is the cost of reaching to the next node, that child, pick up the best child, okay, keep them in the list. So, pick up the best node on explored node, okay, like we did before. The only catch comes where you have to backtrack. So, there is a path variable which is always adding the new node. When there is need to backtrack, that part is to be extracted, that part is to be removed, and then you again start from the optimal path. So, that is a different part, that's a little complicated thing, but that is what you are supposed to do. Okay. Why this backtracking is necessary? Sometimes, now there is something, okay, what if the values are changed? In the previous case, if you remember, those K estimate was less, but when it explores the children, calculate the G value, it realizes that it is longer than it was expecting. So, whatever your expectations, S dash value, whatever you assumed, once you explore your children, it is likely to change. So, in this case, that was propagated back. So, the previous node, O node, found that O2K path, which it thought was shorter, is actually a little longer. Then it has chosen that OI path. Okay. So, that unless you propagate that back, probably you will not be able to get the optimal path. So, that back propagation here is also very, very important. Why that is necessary is shown in the next slide. Okay, let us, now this is a little different kind of a graph, but again our starting or the root node is assumed to be W, but it assumed that now it is connected by some other node. So, we assume that the G value is N and S is N plus 1 or 5, 12 or 5, 15, something. Okay. So, something is being calculated. Okay. So, in the beginning W was N and 15. Now, when you explore X and V, we realize that instead of 15, S says that it is only 12 hops away and V says that it is 15 hops away, but the G value is 5, G value is more. Just assume that it is N plus 1, N is assume N to be 4, then S is better. But then it is only 12 plus 1, 13. Now W earlier it was thinking that the goal node is 15 hops away. But after exploring 2 children, it can say that if it goes via S, it is going to be 13. So, it is shorter. So, if it should it improve that? If it doesn't, what will happen? See, AB also there is a point, there is a node which is called AB, which also makes a decision. It has two children W and AC, and out of which it chooses W. And in this case, when the estimate is getting better, the best path still remains the same. So, we do not need to worry about, but it is quite possible that there is also a decision being made at the earlier point. Okay. If assume that the S value instead of 12 is 17 and V value instead of 15 is 20. So, the W value instead of 15 changes to a higher value. In case of if it chooses S, it is going to be 20. So, it is going to be larger. If it is not propagated back, AB will not be in a position to decide that AB W is no longer an optimal path, AB AC is better. Okay. So, this is very important. Even if there is improvement, you may not propagate it back, but if there is no improvement, you should do it. Okay. But then even in the case of improvement, like in this case where W, the estimate from W changes to 13, if it does not propagate back, what will happen if there is some change in the graph later which says that AC is N14? Incorrectly, AB would prefer AC if that right estimate is not sent back. Okay. So, to prevent that, even the correct estimates are to be propagated back, and they are to be propagated back to whatever root node is. Okay. So, all paths are to be updated, and this is a critical part about A star. Okay. With that note, we come to an end of this particular module. In this particular module, we have looked at an important algorithm called A star. We have seen two versions of A star in this particular module, and in fact, the third version requires that back propagation, which we have not seen, but we have seen an example of. It is about two things. One is the estimate from the current node to the goal node and the cost incurred to reach to this current node, and always will pick up a node which has best G plus S dash value. G is the cost and S dash is the estimate. And why H dash and not H? G is G, H is not H, but S dash. Why S dash? Because the designer is trying to convey that H is the correct distance and S dash is an estimate. So, dash is indicator for that assumption or prediction. Okay. So, S dash is a prediction of the H value. So, and will pick up the best route, okay, based on G plus S dash value. With that, we will conclude. Thank you.